Hello, how are you? Welcome to this new episode of Awakening to Consciousness with Nash. Welcome to all those who are new, those who are not, those who are already repeating. This is the 4th episode. I am very pleased to talk about this topic of the secret to manifest. I think we have all heard a lot about demonstrating, and I think it is the word that is given to say demonstrating. Your life can change your life, manifest it, and bring what you want. And yes, it really can be done. It's something that I put into practice. I have really used many methods. I have used so much gratitude. I have used making manifestation letters. I have used positive affirmations. But the truth is that I am going to be super, super sincere with you. There's one where I really maybe I could see results super fast, that I could update it much faster in my life. It is and was precisely with access questions. I think here, I don't know if many people are involved in what access is, what this energy is. I would in fact like to make a live video explaining and talking a little more about access for when this podcast comes out. I don't know if I will have already released this video of what access is or not, if it already is. I'm going to be in my life saved there, and if not, then it will be there soon. So you do practically what he invites you is to ask a question, one that asks him to create and open up possibilities. And yes, questions really create many possibilities. They create many new paths, many new ways to be able to connect with the energy of what you want to attract into your life. But while you're kind of manifesting, you also start as a get rid of a lot of judgments and take things away from you. So it works great, but something that I've really identified that works to attract, create, because really in Axis, it's not like manifesting. Well, yes, it is manifesting for me, but it is creating what you want, is precisely that energy. Do I really choose it? I wish. And then you let it go and you start having fun and you start having a great time. I have noticed that when you are in the energy of being happy and having fun, things update in your reality instantly, super fast. Previously, I have talked a little on TikTok about what happened to me the first time I put access to the test when I was just starting with these energy tools. I practically want to ask the question, am I going to retell the story for those who haven't heard it? I was in Bali surfing with some friends, and I was just going to go surfing, and my watch appeared on my watch. My Apple Watch was almost new. This is what the teacher tells me. Do you know that I recommend that you take off your watch because it can fall? And I'm not like that. Of course, he doesn't look. It's super well supported. It's not going to fall. I want to measure the calories. Come on, we start surfing. I check every program so that I can measure what I want to measure. I'm super excited. A wave and the clock falls into the sea. And for me, it was like, no, 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 no. My watch, my watch, my watch, my watch. Obviously, being a pole watch, it doesn't float. No, it's not that it does. Things that make it float. And I wasn't using any floating strap, just goodbye. And I was starting to read about access shell mess. So I remember this question, what would the universe have? What should I do to get my watch back? Anything that prevents it can a little. So the Podam POC is this energy that destroys and discretes. So bring much longer energy. And then I will make a video for you, maybe talking. You can go to the access page directly to see what the clarifying statement is, but it's practically a clarifier that cleans energy, that removes what doesn't let it move. It's a super powerful clarifier. So they can start using it with Podam POC, and that has this energy to change. The situation is to eliminate what you are not living. Let things flow, and it's simply magic. The truth is, it's a magic wand. So I say prune pock, and what did I do next? I left to continue having fun. I didn't care about the clock. No, I didn't ruin my vacation, my moment that I was with my friends. For that moment, I just went and had fun. I continued surfing. I continued laughing. I continued having a great time. I left the question and released it to the universe and said, you take care of it. And I went to ask myself to have fun. 30 minutes after class is over, I grab my cell phone and ask and check my Instagram, and I get a message, and I see a message that says in the comments, "Hey, did you lose your watch? I stayed." Yeah, so I write to him and say, "Hello, how are you? Hey, this is the person. Yes, I lost my watch. Let's see. Tell me what's up." And tell me what happened is that I found your watch. Here I am in this cafe, so if you like to come here, I'll see you. I was about 500 meters from where I was. I go quickly towards where the boy is. He was a German boy, and he gives me and he tells me, "Here's your watch." And I tell him, in fact, I told him, what can I give you? What can I do for you? No, nothing. I just wanted to give you your watch, and I didn't. Well, thank you very much. How'd you find it? And he tells me, "Look, well, I was walking on the beach. This one in one place marks exactly the place for me." Where I was, the truth is that I didn't even pass by there. It was already after I checked on the map. They were 200 meters from where I was already surfing. I didn't even walk there, and I was walking through this place, and I see a little box like wood buried in the sand. So I liked it, and it caught my attention. I went and opened it, and the watch was inside, and I was left like, what? And he already tells me, well, here it is. And I got my watch back 30 minutes later. What was the key there? I asked the question, and then I went to have fun. I went to have a good time. I went to release the result. I didn't care about the result, and I had fun when you had fun, when you laughed, when you had a great time. What are you doing? You begin to raise your vibration. You begin to raise your energy. When you raise your energy, and you are in a joyful, happy state. And you can see it for yourself when you're at work, when you're doing something that excites you, that you like, that makes you happy. That they have fun doing it, it becomes heavy for them, it becomes difficult for them, it becomes like, no, not anymore. Even if it is difficult, they say no, and that is to say, you go with it. Yes, you have noticed that energy, and I would like you to make a little awareness here of when you are in this energy of, I am doing this by force, I am not having fun, I hate it, I don't want to do it. When you are doing something that is fun, that you are having a great time, that you may not even like, but the people around you are laughing, they're joking about something, and it's a super different energy. If you have noticed what the difference feels like, that is precisely the secret to attracting, changing what you want to transform your reality. Because when you have fun, when you are you and connect with what expands you the most, you can create your reality and transform it. When you choose something of the heart, the universe has to accommodate that and bring it to you. Many times we say we choose something, but unconsciously we don't really choose it. For example, the other day I was looking for a faceless training class that I know is given once a year. So I was just looking for this class, and I saw that they were going to give it in Brazil. Then I see in Brazil, and the first thing that happens in my head, I said, how am I going to go to Brazil to take this class? No, it's not possible. And then I said, let's see, no, how that it's not possible? What do you mean? No, you don't reach any definition. You ask questions, universe, what would have to happen so that I could go to Brazil? I could really go to Brazil. It's really something that's going to create me more. So I started asking questions, and everything light. I said, okay, I started to change my mindset. You know what? Yeah, possibly. I'm going to Brazil the moment I chose it. The money came from somewhere. It manifested. But then I said, you know what? I already have the money, but maybe that money that I am going to use to go to Brazil, I can use in another class. So Eastern Universe, what would have to happen for another class to open here in Europe? And I started to see that happen. That was when I asked the question. It was Wednesday, this Thursday. I started telling him, you know what, if I go to Brazil on Thursday, my money will be updated for the Friday. I was already with, I already have money, but what if I choose something different? How about another chance here? So I started sending emails to Access from, hey, is there going to be a class in Europe that you are going to see? They answered me, no, there is no class in Europe scheduled. You will have to go to Brazil if you choose it. I said, son, I didn't say, it's just that there has to be no other possibility. I start asking questions because I'm really choosing to take that class. And then I remember early Saturday, I log on and start saying, you know what? In other words, it would have to happen for there to be a class in Europe. I connected, and they had just published it. That is 1 minute before they had created a class in England. So for me, it was like that. That is I'm sure I created that class. That is, I sent the energy to say I want a class, and the class was created. So with what I'm going to, just what I was doing in those days, I was waiting for my entity certification. I was having fun. I was expanding. So when you are in that energy, can you really create what you want? The problem is when we start working on energy, on fear, on anguish, on I really don't know if I'm going to make it, we start to doubt ourselves. And that's when the magic starts to break, because it's like, if I want, I don't want, I don't want. If I want, no, I don't know. So, for example, I assumed that I was going to go to Brazil. The money was updated. Then I said, okay, what other possibilities are there here that could also expand me further? And that money can also be used for another certification. And I created that possibility. And that's how I work on everything. The LA, that's exactly what I like. What is empowering you to say you can create your reality? You can really create what you want and say no. But that sounds super easy, but it's very complicated for me. I have tried, but the truth is that I don't know how to do it. And how about maybe starting with gratitude, with a little bit of appreciating what you do have? Because remember, the key here is to change the vibration. If we are getting angry, if we are in a state of anger, fear, resentment, you're not having fun. So you're attracting more of the same. Remember, you attract what you vibrate. And that's what I got here. Look, super literally tattooed. You attract what you vibrate, then start to be more aware of what there is. And it's not about pretending that, or, okay, I'm going to ignore my negative feelings. I'm going to pretend that I'm not feeling this to be in high vibration. That would be toxic positivism. It's about seeing what's causing me this, to identify and change it. And so you begin to remove those layers, and you remove those layers, so that you raise your vibration. So this is where the games of consciousness come in, being more aware of what is happening around you, with instead of when they ask you, do you feel happy, or how are you, how is your day, automatically people are used to answering well, even without wondering if they're really okay, without even seeing if they're really okay. It's just an automatic response. And when you're doing that, you're not in consciousness. So when you start to just get into this consciousness of saying, let's see how I'm feeling. Oh, you know what? I'm feeling a little sad, a little off, or, okay, where is this coming from? What is it I'm feeling with this? Or why is this coming to me? So you're not ignoring the feeling anymore. You're paying attention to it. And now you can start to see where it's coming from. And then now, yes, once you make it conscious, you can change. You can't change something you're not aware of, but you can change everything you bring to consciousness. So I leave them with that phrase of everything you are aware of, you can change. What you are not aware of, you cannot change. So you have to bring it to consciousness to be able to change it. And so I leave you that the secret to being able to create your life and manifest what you really want, even update it quickly, is for you to be happy, for you to have fun, for you to expand, for you to do what really makes you happy. How many of you are really choosing what makes you happy, or are you stopping choosing what makes you happy just because of what you will say about other people, because of the trials? And you can go watch the trial video, right, where we talk about this. But here the invitation is, how much are you truly being yourself? Keep in mind, you attract what you vibrate. I'll catch them in the next episode. If you have another topic you'd like me to discuss, leave it in the comments, share, and if you believe it can benefit anyone. This space is meant to enhance connection with consciousness and guide you from your awakening to greater consciousness. Wishing you a wonderful day, hoping it is absolutely magnificent and vibrates wonderfully, barring anything that might hinder it. Connect with your infinite being and connect with that energy that makes you vibrate a lot. They want to destroy, it is to create now. Please, yes, accept the wrong one. Well, bad podi, poco, 100 short boys, povatios, plus discretions and beyond. Bye.